back another Wednesday, another episode of Unbiased Sports Talk. But as I look at the itinerary and I look at what we're talking about today, I feel like y'all are trying to escape something right here. We're not going to talk about, did the Ravens choke? We're not going to even talk about that at all. We're just going to skip past that. Okay, sorry. First to the NBA.
Ooh, wow, nut shot, right pocket. Even though it didn't happen to me, I can still feel it.
Foolish.
Well, see you tight over there. On to the NBA. We'll be back to you. So, E, what's your thoughts on All-Star game coming up this week? Coming up soon. We're almost midway through the NBA season. How do you feel about the the All-Star draftees? And do you feel like there was anyone snubbed that bothered you?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how they continue to improve with the All-Star weekend and things that they're looking to do. I think they got Curry battling a WNBA player for the 3-point. So we'll see how that goes. Something different. I think we know the outcome, but we'll leave that for another discussion. But as far as East, you said what?
What ball are they going to be using?
I don't know. That was one of the first questions I was thinking about when they mentioned it. I just saw the discussion being had that they're going to be doing it. So again, we'll see what happens. I don't know what the rules are, what the setup is, and all that. But I'm interested to see what it was going to be. But as far as the list of players, though, I'm not terribly upset about any of the players. I think one of the ones that I think everybody's been calling out is Brunson. He's been balling up there in New York. But same thing happened to Dame last year when he was out west. Luka got the spot and he didn't. So it happens. Obviously, Brunson's still going to get into the All-Star game as a reserve for sure. I'm sure he's going to get that. So I think everybody that deserves to be in is in, and the others that I think a lot of people are thinking about will still come in as reserves. So I don't have a major problem with anybody on the list right now. I pretty much expected these guys to make it. Ron, you got your face turned up, so I think you got an issue with something.
Is KD playing the 4 at Phoenix or the 3?
3, 4 sometimes. The 1 to 4.
Positionless basketball.
Yeah.
No, just answer the question. Is he playing the 4 then?
I think with their lineup, yeah, he plays the 4.
Yeah, I think he plays the 3 to 4 times.
Go long. My biggest one was Brunson. I don't think whatever that kid name at the Pacers, I can't pronounce his name. I'm not gonna mess him up.
Halliburton.
Yeah, I don't think he should have got over Brunson, especially because he's hurt.
They got the number 1 offense, bro.
Yeah.
They got the number what?
Number 1 offense. Led by Halliburton.
Okay.
Just saying.
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm going with Halliburton. Just saying. Look, sometimes somebody not going to make the squad, bro. Somebody not going to make the list. Sometimes you just got deeper talent in one division versus the other. And Jalen just,
And this is what 50% of this vote is the fans, right?
Yeah. So the fans don't see it. The players might see it a different way. Coaches might see it a different way. But let's just go right here. Is Jalen outplaying Halliburton? In your eyes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you, Ron?
Yeah, I said yes. I think Halliburton is. I think Halliburton is. Okay, go on.
No, I'm telling you, Ron. Go ahead. I want to hear you.
Oh, I think Halliburton is a thing because it's the Pacers. So you're not used to the Pacers. You're not used to the Pacers really balling like that. Versus someone like Brunson and stuff, where you're starting to see like he's carrying that franchise on his back. And maybe it is about the franchises, and it's a little bit more of an importance when it comes to basketball for the New York Knicks versus the Pacers. So maybe it's a little bit of that also. So I thought Dame was the starter though, but okay, interesting.
No,
Yeah, Dame got a
I'm
starting
not sure,
point.
but
Yeah,
I think
Dame and Halliburton for the East.
No. But I thought Dame was the starter, not the reserve.
They're both starters. Those are the starters for the East.
Can we see that again? I didn't see Dame up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
Oh shit, he's up there. Yeah, take Dame down. Yeah, Dame for Brunson.
And for who?
For Brunson. Yeah.
Why would you put Brunson over Dame?
The Bucks would still be fine without Dame. I can't say that for the Knicks.
No, this ain't about who's gonna be fine. Who's the better player? Who's the all-star? Who's the better player? Who should be an all-star?
Brunson.
Over Dame.
Yeah. For what they're doing for respective teams, Brunson. Because the better player is Dame, but what they're doing for the respective team is Brunson.
Do you agree with that, E?
No.
Liven this up, please, because I don't.
You think Dame is doing more than what Brunson is doing for the Knicks?
That's what I think that overall, Dame and Halliburton, I would put over. And again, it's not by a lot. It's not a lot. It's very little because Brunson is balling. But
doing that thing
yes. The answer to your question is yes. So I would take Dame and Halliburton over. Yes, I feel so.
Why Dame? We already discussed Halliburton. Why do you think Dame is doing more than Brunson? And he got Greek.
Dame's still putting up more points, ain't he?
So what does points got to matter?
We're talking about who's the better player right now.
That's what he's there to do. He's a better scorer, Brunson, I think, overall.
They're both averaging the same amount of points right now, right?
Like I said, it's close. But I'm asking you a
question. Explain why Brunson goes over Dame.
If you take Brunson off the Knicks won't be where they're at. If you take off Dame, the Bucks will be fine.
It's not football. We just saying this ain't take the person off the team. We're talking about who's an all-star and who's supposed to play, who's better.
But that's answer the question. But that's answer the question though. That's literally answer the question. If you take them off, one team's fine, the other one won't be fine.
Knicks are more loaded than the Bucks.
How? When they just made trades. Who's
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Giannis and Dame.
Who's Brunson's backup? Who's Brunson's backup?
Bro, they have Brunson. They got his whole college team that played with him. What's my man that came over there?
Stop it. Get some help.
The Knicks are a way better team overall.
They definitely are a better team
than the Bucks. The Bucks is just Dame and Giannis, and that's why they try to get a new coach and fire the coach because they can't play defense. But if I'm gonna put Brunson over Dame, why is he out playing Dame? I'm a Knicks fan. He ain't out playing Dame.
So who's the backup?
That ain't got nothing to do with who's all-star.
So how you a fan? But you don't know who the backup is? This is
bro. If you want to do that, I'm more of a Ravens fan than you because I can name you all your Super Bowl teams, every player on your.
Wait a minute.
Get your man right. Dave, listen. Me and him are asking you to just tell us why one should be voted over the other, but don't tell me about what his other teammates are doing. Don't tell me if you take one off the team. That's a different question.
So does Dame have more responsibility than Brunson right now?
They both got the same amount of responsibility. They the one.
Next topic, man. Next topic.
Don't run.
Teach a man how to squabble.
Out there.
Squabble. Stupid.
They squabbling out there, man. It's okay, Ron. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Brunson over Dame is ludicrous. But we gonna move on.
I don't know if you're a Knicks fan because you can't name the backup. And you start talking about the Ravens.
Die hard. But it's okay. It's okay. We can talk about the Knicks, or we can talk about your backup quarterback for the Ravens. Maybe he should have played. We can talk about backups if you really want to. Got it? I know you're sensitive right now. I'm a Knicks fan. I've been sensitive.
You're a Knicks fan. Who's the backup?
Well, either way, I don't think I wouldn't be upset if Brunson would have got it. I wouldn't have been upset if Brunson got it over Dame this year because again he's balling. But again, you got to realize that fans are voting. Dame is a bigger name than Brunson. That's probably why he got in over Brunson. So if we're going straight off stats this season, you're correct. You're correct, Ron. If you're going off just stats this season and how he's been playing, and that's all that mattered, yes, Jalen Brunson would get over Dame. But taking everything else into consideration, the fans, I mean, I'm not upset, and I see why Dame probably got over him. But again, Brunson's still going to be in the All-Star game because he's going to get in the reserve slot for sure.
I agree.
So I'm more interested to see in the reserves who doesn't make it, because that's another thing too. How many people make the All-Star? 13, right? Something like that. I
don't think it. I think
no, it's not. I don't think it. Yeah, it might even be 12. So I think it should be 15. I think it should be 15, especially when you've had this same amount of All-Stars for like the past 30 years, but you got more teams, more players in the league. There should be more opportunity for these guys to be on the All-Star. So that's really what I would like to see them change. But anyway,
we're gonna move on to something else that maybe we all can be in agreement on, but it's okay. NBA, we're gonna stay in the NBA land. With over the last few weeks, or last week or two, we've had a few players scoring a large number of points in a game. This is kind of rare. This kind of happens. We had Luka score like 73. We had Embiid score 70. I think the same night that Luka scored a 73, we also had 60 from Booker. My question for one of you guys: why do you think all of a sudden people are just dropping 60 and 70 like this in the same week? What's happened to the NBA?
I said, don't forget, like almost every week you got somebody dropping 40.
40 ain't even nothing no more. 40 like the new
20. Right.
Ron,
what's your thoughts?
Ron.
He can't even talk.
Nobody playing no defense. It's professional. Like I said before, everybody's playing professional pickup. We got one of our boys in our off chat sending me numbers about LeBron, but you don't send me numbers about LeBron when they lose to the Houston Rockets.
When they letting Dylan Brooks bully him.
Like who's guarding LeBron at the Warriors?
Wiggins?
So
Kuminga. I go out on the floor during warm-ups and I'll just be looking for a LeBron hater. I just need one of them.
Man, get that shit out of our lineup.
All right,
man, sit your ass down.
Anyways, but no one's playing no real defense. No one's playing defense. You have plenty of players out here in the NBA that's doing the numbers game. They're doing the numbers game because they know they'll get paid. They're doing the numbers game because it will make them qualify for other teams. A lot of these guys are not playing defense because that's not that time of age anymore. The Raja Bells are gone. The Tony Allens are gone. The old Ron Artest is gone. Doug Christie is gone. I can name the long Bruce Bowen's gone. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of people where teams actually value their defense. Now most teams are valuing points, especially in You know what I mean? When in the season for some odd reason, because then when the playoffs come, all these 60-point, 40-point things go out the window. Now people like Devin Booker is only dropping like 30 points. You know, and which I find so interesting. Like if somebody with KD talk about he the GOAT, I never heard of a GOAT where your teammate is scoring 62 points. None of the GOATs that I know.
Well, KD ain't even ever scored 50, have you?
This year?
No, not this year.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. KD, I don't even think KD's ever dropped 60 or 50. Maybe 50, but he ain't ever dropped like no 60. And he said that it would be hard for him to do. He tried to make an excuse why he couldn't do that.
But we all know KD's a different beast, though. KD's a person where he doesn't need to shoot as much as others to get 30. Like, he could shoot 20 shots and get 30, while everybody else needs to shoot 40 shots to get their 30.
Yeah, he's pretty efficient.
Didn't Luka have like 37 shots for his 72?
Yeah, I mean, you shoot.
And the game was won by 5 points. And the same game with Devin, he dropped 62, and you still lost. You know why? Because everybody, four players out of the 5 had over 20 points.
Yeah, you're right. Durant's career high is 55.
Yeah, barely.
How many shots?
I don't know. Let me look.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you was gonna speak upon it, Ron, but man, I think you said it. But I don't know if you said it loud and clear enough. I think something is wrong with the NBA.
19 to 28.
They don't want to compete.
They soft. There's no more defense. And I'm not going to say that the players are just soft, but the transition of the game getting softer, and then with them modifying all the rules to help the offense, it makes it hard to play defense in a lot of these games going forward. And now that the fact that you're not playing defense, no one cares to play defense, then I can drop 60 and 70 every night because it's easy. You feel me? It's very easy. No one wants to start playing defense until the playoffs. But like you said, like, basketball not as interesting to me no more. Like, I don't want to see dudes just come down, shoot a 3, rebound, shoot a 3, rebound, shoot a 3, rebound. I want to see dudes work. I want to see dudes back screen, in the mid range. I'm a live and die with my jumper or go to the back. I want to see old school basketball, screen and roll, pick and roll. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the new basketball we got going on right now. It's
5 out, run to the box.
Basketball. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not. It's soft. All I see is a whole bunch of dudes crying when they do get touched.
Yeah, I think you spot on with the effort. I really think that's what it is. Because everybody talks about the rules, but honestly, even with the rules, just to you guys' point, when the playoffs come, this is kind of why I've always had that mindset of I don't care about the regular season. Like, and everybody was going off about Harden when he was putting up all them points in the regular season. I was like, okay, cool. Do that consistently in the playoffs, and then I'll be impressed, because they do let these guys get a little bit more physical in the playoffs. Again, not like it was before, but they do hold the whistle a little bit more. And you see these guys not put up the crazy numbers they do during the regular season. Go ahead.
I got a question for Jabbar.
Go ahead.
Do you believe referees ref the game the same in the season and postseason and the playoffs?
No, in neither sport.
Mm-mm.
I feel like the refs, the game changes a little bit because everybody gets tighter. So decision making is different. It ain't just a regular game. The refs get the game gets tight. The calls get a little tight. The game changes. Now everybody's relying on run game and defense. Same way when you get into the NBA, everybody's now playing defense. And now everybody's trying to get physical. And the refs might call it this way, but now we might let things go. You know, oh, y'all real scrappy. You might let y'all like. So I think the ref in regular season and in playoffs gets a little tighter.
I think,
and you can game plan for each other, so you know who you're going up against and can plan for.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting, and I know we got to go to the next topic. I think what's interesting, you would think you would see more. You think you would see more text in the playoffs because of high emotions, but I feel like I see more text in season. Am I tripping?
Well, I think because you got I don't know. I would have to look at numbers. I don't think so.
But maybe you got, like he said, maybe y'all look at the numbers because you got a large season versus a small playoff.
Right.
So you're probably looking at there's a large season, there's a lot of techs and dudes, there's a lot more games, a lot more teams playing. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Which is you limited the teams. So
there you go.
But I think, and again, to the point as to why you're seeing these high scoring games, points from the players is also what I think we realize, but I don't think people really understand the numbers, the pace of the game, and how much these guys are now scoring compared to before. So even at that, because everybody talks about I think there is a stat for pace in the NBA, and they always talk about that stat. Oh, the pace back in the 80s is the same as it is now. Even with the same pace that those guys had back then, they still didn't score the points that they're scoring now. They were scoring still only like 100 points at the high pace that they were playing at. Now you got guys, over the past like past 8 years, almost 10 years now, the pace has gone from 100 points per game all the way up to like 115.
But hey, I got a question for you real quick. It's another topic we can talk about with this pace, because a lot of people realize when they start talking numbers, they don't understand that pace goes into those numbers.
Right.
Because we're going to leave it right there.
But I think that's more of an indication of how much is going up over the whole pace stat. The points per game is, I think, more of an indication of how much it's increased compared to years of past.
Yeah, but it's a rhythm. It has moments. It's been up and it's been down. So it's been high as heck back in the 60s and 70s. They were just running, dribbling the ball like this to shooting.
I hope we circle back to this topic in the future, because I feel like there's much more to talk about.
Yeah, it's a loaded topic.
I'm about to sound like an old head for what you just said, E. I'll save it for a rainy day.
All right. So I think you want to get back to his Ravens.
We're moving on to the NFL world. Nah, we're gonna not really specifically get on the Ravens. We're not gonna do that, but we are going to move on to the NFL. And with the NFL, we had some games this weekend, some big playoff games this weekend. NFL recap. I just want to say, we had AFC Championship, NFC Championship. And I'm not a Ravens fan. I'm not about to sit here and just try to bash y'all like that. I was really rooting for y'all. I was rooting for Lamar to go as very far. I want rooting for Lamar to go as far as possible for multiple reasons. I really wanted him to show that he got his money and he still got better. I wanted him to show that a man can represent himself and still win. I wanted to show that he can go against the NFL and still be successful. For so many reasons. I wanted to root for Lamar. I was very disappointed that the Ravens didn't win. And the outcome, I think, Ron, I would love to ask you about, what do you really think about what happened in that game?
I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no.
Still too early?
It's like I got a George Foreman grill in my head and I got to drain the grease. If they keep it up, I'm going to lose my mind.
Because of that, I'm going to give you my honest answer. My honest answer is this. I'm going to start from the top to the bottom. This is my answer. We got outcoached. Plain and simple. We got outcoached. Both defensively, we got outcoached. And then offensively, we got outcoached. Player-wise, the same thing I said about Josh Allen. It's the same thing I'm saying about Lamar. You did too much. As I stated to someone before about Josh Allen, and we want to talk about numbers, the numbers don't lie. There's not too many games you can tell me where a quarterback is throwing the ball over 35 times and the scoreboard is showing 42 points. In most cases, you throwing that ball over 35 times, you're only putting up 20-something points on the board because you're doing too much. Both teams did not value the run. Bills didn't value the run, and the Ravens didn't value the run. And what really kicks my nerves is why you got a 5'4" running back back there blocking for you on passing downs. Gus Edwards should be in the game. But let me get to the real shit. America wanted to see Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Oh, we know that. Hold on, slow down. I'm with you. I'm with you on this.
I see it, dog. I know you saw it, dog.
I saw it, dog. I saw it.
America wanted. Listen.
I hold on. That's why you try to slow down. You're tongue tied. Hold on. I'm with you now. Look. This dude here. I think I agree with almost 90% of what you said, and I think you were saying something about the run game. Mm-hmm. Now, I think I would like to give Kansas City more credit for stopping the run because they didn't just stop yours; they stopped the Bills. I don't think over the playoffs they're only averaging about 78 yards rushing on them. Like I said, little receipt. People sleep on Kansas City defense. And no one was talking about their defense for real going into the playoffs this year. Last year, every Super Bowl year, their defense they get right for that playoffs. And their defense has been carrying them this year. No one's been talking about that. We're sitting here talking about Mahomes, but the defense has been the strength of the team. And I'm not just going to say that the Ravens got out coached. I think mentally, Lamar tried to prove us that he can be what he is instead of just being who he is. He wanted to prove that he can beat Mahomes throwing the ball, and I feel like he could have used his legs a little bit more. I feel like he don't have to prove to me anything else. You don't got to try to prove anything. Just go win the game. And the running game, to me, y'all didn't run the ball enough.
Go ahead. Let's go.
That was what I was going about to bring up. I was like, is that more of Lamar or is that more of coaching and the play calling and them not sticking to the run as much as they've done in the past? I mean, you're now playing a game where you're throwing the ball way more than you're running, and you've won your games by running the ball. Why not continue to do that?
Ravens average yards per carry.
In what, this game?
Yeah, because that will make sense. If you're running the ball and you're averaging 5 yards in the carry, but you didn't run, then that's stupid. You should have ran the ball. But if they were
but again,
run the ball,
I don't know the exact number, but to your point though, I think from what I can recall, the Chiefs numbers were similar as far as yards per rush, but they still committed to still running the ball way more than the Ravens did.
Yeah.
So they were more balanced in their attack than the Ravens were. And the Ravens even still had opportunities because you had, remember, Flowers fumbled the ball right there at the goal line. That could have changed the game. So, I think just people, what you guys are talking about, people's, get a little bit tight when the pressure's on and, causes mistakes that the Kansas City Chiefs didn't make down the stretch.
Facts. Yeah. Facts. Lions-Niners game. What's your thoughts, Ron?
The 49ers is a championship team. The 49ers, hands down, is a championship team. We've seen plenty of football. We've seen plenty of basketball. Teams be down by 30, and they're like, we're down by 30. You know what I mean? We ain't really coming back. You know what I mean? We've seen football played, coached it, went against it. Dudes get in their feelings. Dudes on the sideline, they fighting and stuff. They in their feelings. The 49ers show true championship pedigree football. Because I'm not going to lie. I was like, Javon might be joining me on this couch.
No, I said that. I texted you. I was like, yeah, Ron, grab the remote. I passed the remote, bro. I'm probably going to be sitting over there with you.
Yeah, I was amazed. And I won't say America got involved in that game. What got in that game is the boys said, nah, like, y'all are from Detroit. We are from San Fran. Okay, you're at our house. We're gonna win this ball game. And what I really like about San Fran, if you go listen to the mic'd up, because it has came out, guys like Trent Williams started talking, guys like Debo started talking, guys like George Kittle started talking, Fred Warner. They're like they're keeping that spirit. They're making each down count. Each down count. Versus if you was to listen to my team, you wasn't really getting the same thing.
Who's your veterans? I feel like Kyle Hamilton is
too young.
I know that's what I'm saying. He's trying to be an emotional leader on your team, but
he's too young. And that's a deeper topic. That to me, that's a Harbaugh thing. If you go back, you listen to some stories about Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed, especially, they're not too far on Harbaugh in a sense of his leadership ways. I feel like Roquan is our leader, but I also feel like when he starts to grow up a little more, he'll start to be that certain leader that we need. Like, prime example, it was a great play, but dumb move. It was a great play to reset the first down by going after the guard, but you need to run into the guard because now it became a personal foul and they got an extra 15 yards. But going back to the 49ers and Detroit game, that was a great thing.
Yeah, I was personally like you guys said, I thought it was over. I didn't think that 49ers had the ability to come from behind the way they did, especially against the Lions and how well the Lions have been playing. I expected them to keep it up and keep the pressure, but they started to fold. And Purdy ultimately made the throws, and he was the question mark for me. If he played well and played good enough, then I thought the 49ers would do well and win the game. But if he didn't, that was a suspect question for me and how well the 49ers will perform. And so he stepped up to the plate and made the throws down the stretch. And so my hats off to the 49ers for coming back and winning that game. So I was definitely surprised.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought the game was over. I had to go take a little kumbaya moment. I walk away from the TV and kind of tell my team, if y'all want to win, man, y'all going to have to figure it out. And I don't think this was just necessarily more so the 49ers. I think that momentum changed when they didn't kick that field goal to go up 17.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Going up 17, making the long field, because at the end of the day, we were struggling. I'm going to make your defense was doing the job well enough that I'm going to make y'all go up long field to 2 touchdowns or more and try to get back in this game. That changed the momentum. Brock Purdy
100%.
started to make some plays. He became a game record instead of a game manager. Start wrecking the game while managing it. He started using his legs on unscripted plays. And that's one thing people don't know. I mean, Brock Purdy is mobile enough to, get out the pocket, but I mean, he probably didn't show that too much during the regular season because he ain't built to be running like that. But he does have capability of getting out the pocket and scrambling. Those are called good scrambling plays. When you don't run just to run, you ran on a good scrambling play. You saw man-to-man, I ran, it was wide open.
Right.
Brock Purdy did surprise me. The defense tightened it up in the second half. And it was a game of 2 halves. Lions in the first, Niners in the second.
Bro, and I'm glad you brought that back because that was one of my points. That field goal that they went forward on 4th instead of kicking that field goal, I was like, bro, what are you doing? Because now you're down 2 scores with the amount of time they had left. You would have had an opportunity just to make a score and tie the game. Now you got to try to score 2 times within 3 minutes. Nah, bro, that ain't happening. So I was like, I did not understand that call. And I get his whole thing is to go forward on 4th. That's been their whole MO the whole season. I understand all that. That's great. That's why they got to where they at. But in that particular situation, bro, field goal. And I did not understand that.
Before we move on from this topic, I heard his interview, and his interview threw me off a little bit because it's kind of hard to listen to my coach make it seem like we messed up. But these mistakes is on coach. We'd probably win this game if coach wasn't over aggressive. We only lost 2 games this season if coach wasn't over aggressive. And you went forward on 2 4th downs.
Right.
So you lost by 3 and you didn't take 6 points.
In the playoffs, it usually comes down to 3 points.
Playoffs, Those points are valuable, man. But I understand he living down in the soil, and I respect it. But I think next year you're gonna have to look at the analytics, and you're gonna have to be not as aggressive. Because I think he's a good coach.
I can understand his point though. Of course, he's not gonna say no names. The wide receiver Reynolds dropped some money balls that could have kept him on the field and live for another day.
Laporta did too on Hughes 34th. That whole offense only scored one touchdown in the second half.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Calling for it on fourth down ain't any better. But to slightly defend him, I can see where he's coming from.
I get it, but I just think in that particular situation, at the end of the game, when you have an opportunity to get 3, and then with the amount of time you have left, it would like say if it's earlier in the game, sure. But at that moment in time, all right, bro, you need to take the points.
Yeah, I mean that's just gonna.
And they use one of the timeouts, so only had 2 timeouts at that point. So I'm like, bro, yeah, they were tripping.
It's what you call a championship bout, man. You got an inexperienced boxer going versus a champion boxer. Have you ever watched champion fights? Champions know how to handle themselves in those later rounds. Those later rounds, they know exactly how to handle themselves. So
because the game changes in the later rounds. You slow down. We get closer. Contact is easy a little bit more.
Teach your man how to squabble.
Right. So
great point.
He'll get the picture. Detroit's going to be around next year. I got Detroit better than the Cowboys next year.
I think everybody do this.
I think Detroit is a couple of defensive pieces away from being right back where they were.
As long as they keep that same intensity and energy.
Nah, I think the coach, coach is good. They're gonna model that coach's attitude.
I hope so.
If they keep that running game, those weapons, while keep building on maybe even add another DN on the other side of Hutch, or get another shutdown, get a shutdown corner, and get Mosley back, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna move on to our last topic of the day. CJ Johnson is a free agent. Who cares? Trash. Trash. Like my man Debo say, somebody need to go check on that boy. Now, biggest question of the day. Between Lamar and Mahomes, who is the most important player on their team, or who has the most impact on their team? Ron, go.
No, I'm not going first.
You already know who you want.
Yeah.
Since you're being biased, just go.
Yeah, it's you. You determine whether or not you're ever going to be on this podcast ever again. It's you.
E, I vouch for you.
Whatever.
Finish him, E. Tell him the truth. Tell him what you don't want to hear.
So for me personally, I think an easy but no, I'm going Mahomes. And the reason being is
This baby is rice-skinned, but not light-skinned. That is a white child. That is Caucasian from the mountains of Caucasus.
Stupid. I don't see the Chiefs performing it as well as they have over these several years, especially this year, without Mahomes. And everybody can say, coach. I don't know why his name slipped my mind. Andy, there you go. Andy Reid.
What?
Is the main reason. But, I mean, we've seen Andy Reid with several other players, and he hasn't had the amount of success that he's had with Mahomes. So I think Mahomes is that guy. I don't see the Chiefs doing what they're able to do every single year without him, especially this year when you saw the amount of drops his wide receivers have. He does not have the same weapons he's had other years outside of Kelsey. And he's continued to still produce and continue to still put his team in the championship games and have an opportunity for a Super Bowl. So yeah. I haven't seen the same level of consistency out of Lamar. That's all. That's why I feel Mahomes is more important to the success of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Nah, you pick whatever you want to do, son. I mean, it's the song. You want me to go? I go. Want me to wait? I wait.
Please go. So I could go one at a time. Because Lord have mercy. Go on.
First, fix your internet. You're breaking up a little bit, Mo. All right. I'm gonna agree with E on this topic. I feel like if you break down, I'm gonna pull a Tony. If you break down percentages, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna pull a Tony. I just think when it comes down to the players, who's the most viable player for their team, I think that Mahomes is a level above Lamar slightly, which I feel like Mahomes have won with less. I mean, this team we have right now versus your team. This team, he was a struggling team. He just came in and beat the number one defense, the number one team. And you guys carried that title the whole season. We thought he was going to be washed up and wasn't going to even be here this season. And the boy is still here. And at the end of the day, he might be the underdog going into the Super Bowl, but that's BS. How you just win a Super Bowl but you're an underdog? How he an underdog but he 3-0 as an underdog in the playoffs? So I don't really believe he's an underdog. I believe that Mahomes to me is more valuable. No, let's be real. We're asking a question where two people are very valuable to their team. And
True.
we're going to have to break this down into a very tedious percentage to be like, well, he does this versus this. This is just a general eye test. Mahomes has done more, I think, with less. He don't always have a top 5, top 10 defense when he wins. He got to the Super Bowl with a terrible offensive line. Lost the Super Bowl with a terrible offensive line. Got rid of Tyreek, who has been his receiver since then. Got a 40-year-old tight end that you can't stop. Got the same, almost same weapons you got. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You ready, B?
Okay. I'm going to go left to right. So, E, so basically what I heard from you is you basically devalue Andy Reid.
I'm not devaluing. I'm just showing, because again, a lot of people like to point out scheme or coaching. This is the reason why certain people have success. I'm just saying because we've seen Andy Reid for so long and with several good quarterbacks, even with those good quarterbacks, he did not still have the same level of success he's had with Mahomes.
So
that's all I'm saying.
So the only way you're measuring success is a Super Bowl, correct?
I'm just overall. I mean, you look at. I mean, how many appearances they've been in the championship game with the Chiefs? What 4 out of 6 years? 4 or 5 years?
Let me ask you a question, E.
Not just Super Bowls.
Let me ask you a question.
He's been in the playoffs every year.
Let me question, E. How many times has Andy Reid in total been to a championship in total?
He's been there a lot.
No, that's not answering the question. That's not answering the question.
I don't know the exact number, man. I don't know off the top of my head the exact number. God damn.
He's been to 11. He's been to 11. He's been.
And how many of those are Mahomes?
Yeah, he's been 5 before Mahomes.
Okay.
Every quarterback he has coached up has been above 500.
And how many of them quarterbacks won Super Bowls?
Okay, Super Bowls is won by teams. We're talking about the quarterback.
But I think those Eagles teams were loaded. Those Eagles teams were loaded, though.
And he's hold on. He's arguably the best offensive coordinator of all time. Arguably.
He was considered a good coordinator. He was considered a good coordinator until he got Mahomes.
Can I finish my take? I
didn't interrupt you. You got like 5 takes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I didn't interrupt y'all. I'm just giving y'all the spill because you're bringing in team success and we're talking about the quarterback.
So, but you're proving my point though. Andy Reid is good. That's my point. So
hold on. Andy Reid's the one that calls the calls, not Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is not crazy. Pat Mahomes is not out there making up plays. He's getting calls issued to him.
Yeah, that's how
Lamar getting plays issued to him too.
That's how football works. We understand that.
for multiple. Okay, anyways, quit on that because Andy Reid to Todd Monken. Really?
This is why I brought it up, because I know people use Andy Reid as an argument against Mahomes' success.
Y'all getting sidetracked. We're not talking about the coaches. We're talking about who is more valuable to their team. Let's not put in the equation. No. We're getting sidetracked. Let's go back to the player.
Okay, here's to the player. Here's to the player. Lamar is more important and more impactful to his team because we have seen numerous of seasons starters go down, whether it's the line, whether it's the wide receiver, whether it was a tight end this year, and he still does what he does. You put him down with the next quarterback is not duplicated. So versus when you talk about Mahomes, it can be duplicated, except for this though. If we're talking about a ring, then of course Lamar is always going to be in a lose-lose situation for that, especially because the ring is for team success. But if we're talking about the player and the things that this player has to overcome for the team to be above 500, it's Lamar.
I disagree, and this is why I disagree, and I'm gonna leave it. We're gonna finish this real easy. If we're talking about overall player, we're not gonna talk about team success. I'm just gonna talk about the value of that player. Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't be nowhere without Mahomes. They wouldn't be a contender without Mahomes. They have brought some low-level caliber NFL teams to championships based on Mahomes carrying these teams.
Are we talking about nowhere like championships? There will never be a championship team. Is it correct? So I can understand.
No.
Okay. I mean, I can agree with that.
No. What championship? You say like Super Bowl or just
Super Bowl? If we're talking about Super Bowl, I got no argument. But if we're talking about success of the team, they'll still be fine because they were 12-4 before him 2 years in a row.
If we're talking about success for a team, I ask you a general question: whose team do you think is a better team?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs are a better team.
Yes.
Oh, they play better because of coaching, or they have better talent.
What is it? Coaching first? Yeah, the team. They've been having better records if you go look.
So you rather
having a better record doesn't mean you have the better talent. Yes, you can have a better team.
No. I didn't say
I know. I asked you who has the better talent.
No, I got a better question for him. Would you rather have the Chiefs players in Baltimore with Lamar right now this season? Over the current players he has on the team right now, would you rather take all the Chiefs players and replace them on Baltimore this season?
Nah.
No, because the outcome will still be the same.
So if you're saying this will be the same, you're saying they're about the same.
Then you would say yeah, you would take them.
No. Follow what I'm saying. Right? But follow what I'm saying, right? If we switch players, right?
Yeah.
Mahomes is still going to be more successful than Lamar.
No. That wasn't the question. The question is.
That wasn't the question.
That wasn't the question. The question was: would you, Ron, rather have all the players that are on the Chiefs right now?
Would you switch those
with players? Lamar in Baltimore? Would you like to switch all the players except for the quarterbacks? You keep Lamar in Baltimore. You get all the Chiefs players. Would you rather have that or current Chiefs players you have? I mean, current Raven players you have right now. You personally, regardless of coaching, we talk about the team.
For this year, this is the best year we've had talent. So no, my answer would be no.
So then the Ravens have the better team, player-wise, players.
No. So we're asking this as a seasonal thing, or we're asking just in general, because both of y'all got two different points where I can see where both of y'all are going with this. Where Ron is saying more in general, not just only this year, and I think you're saying just this year's roster. So in general, the Ravens had a better roster obviously this year than the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
But are we going to say that for the last 4 years, who had the better roster?
The Chiefs.
On offense, maybe, which I had the better defense.
But see, the thing is, what I'm not going to do is this. I'm not going to do the whole player thing because at the end of the day, there has to be a coach issuing all this stuff. Switching players don't really mean nothing unless someone's giving you the assignment. And for the assignments that have been given to that team since 2013, they have been having a better record than the Ravens because of the coaching. The man has a championship caliber type of coaching style, and it's fall down for every quarterback. Now, how we measure success, I'm not going to argue about Mahomes when it comes to Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? If that's how we measure success. But if we're talking about in the sense of whether a team is going to be up or down when we take a guy out, the Chiefs will still be fine. The Ravens will be in the dirt if you take Lamar out. The Chiefs will be fine because they still got Andy Reid. Andy Reid has proven that throughout his career. That's why
I agree. I don't disagree with what you're saying right now. I agree. That's not the point.
I think I'll sum it up with this. I think again, yes, the Chiefs might still have a winning season, but to have the same level of success they've had over the past 5 years, that would not be replicated without Mahomes. So there's levels to this, and I think that's what you're getting at, and I agree with that. I just think the level that the Chiefs are at, they're not achieving that level without Mahomes.
Can I ask you one question then? Let me ask you one question. If both quarterbacks go down next year, right? Same team. Both quarterbacks go down next year. One team ends 12-4, doesn't go to the Super Bowl. The other team is 7-10. Who has more value then?
Did you say if?
No, I'm asking you this. Okay, again, who has more value now? Lamar or Mahomes?
This is hypotheticals. This is ifs. I don't know. This is what I know.
If one team is 7-10 and the other team is 12-4.
If there's an if there. It's hypotheticals.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, because we can sit there, if we go hypotheticals, you can play the Milton game. But if I put LeBron with Shaq, if I switch both quarterbacks, well, they both had the same careers. Marlon, can you answer the question? Because we stuck right here. We'd love to move on. I'm home.
To be honest, only one team had a backup make the Pro Bowl.
Matt Castle.
No, I'm saying, didn't Huntley make the Pro Bowl?
Matt Castle made the Pro Bowl too.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as of recent.
Marlon,
Matt Castle made the Pro Bowl when he was with the Patriots.
The question is, who's the most valuable player to their team? Mahomes or Lamar?
To be honest, that's a hard question to answer.
It is. We said we all said that.
It's almost impossible because there won't be another quarterback who'll have an instant connection with Travis Kelce who can make the adjustments that Mahomes does make, that they'll just pick up off the fly. The Ravens literally have great value, Lamar and Huntley, but at the same time, they won't win the same amount of games they'll win with Lamar. So that's not like it's let me get this answer out real quick. But in a sense, I say that the Ravens go more off of Lamar's flow than the Chiefs go off of Patrick Mahomes' flow. If Lamar's having a great game, the Ravens are having a great game. They have won games where Patrick wasn't having the best game when it comes to the Chiefs. Other pieces have stepped in. There really isn't any standout pieces that don't require Lamar on the Ravens offense.